Hello and welcome to Shweet Remakes, the first episode of our spin-off podcast from Schweet Shiznitz. I am your host, Jason White, and I am here with
Krista White.
And today we watched not an 80s movie like we normally watch. We watched a remake of an 80s movie.
I wish I would have watched an 80s movie.
So, as will probably often be the case when we watch remakes of 80s movies, they do not always turn out as well as the 80s movies they're remaking.
This movie sucked.
This movie definitely was not as good as the movie that it was led up to.
I think that was a long way of saying this movie sucked.
This movie was not good. Just to give you a little bit of an idea, this movie...
Hold on a second. Can you just say it? This movie sucked.
This movie sucked.
Thank you.
The Rotten Tomatoes score on it was 35%, which
That's
surprisingly
generous.
means 35% of the critics who reviewed it had at least moderately positive things to say about it.
Do you think they had blindfolds on and earplugs in?
I don't know. The movie we watched was the 2015 remake of the 1982 Steven Spielberg classic, E.T.
I don't think so.
Oh, wrong Steven Spielberg classic. It was a remake of the 2015 or 2000.
You want to try this again? Because you cannot edit this out.
1982 Steven Spielberg classic, Poltergeist.
You know, any mistakes you're making, they stay in.
Yes, they stay in. Mistakes
Okay.
and all.
All right. It was Poltergeist.
It was Poltergeist. This movie had a $35 million budget.
I'm not sure where it went.
That's not a blockbuster budget. You know, there are movies that are being made for $200 and $300 million now. But that's enough money that you would think they could put together a decent movie. And they did not.
No, the cinematography looked like someone shot it with the first cell phone camera that was made.
If you're familiar at all with the television show The Goldbergs, where Adam Goldberg runs around with his camcorder and records things that happen, it kind of looks like he recorded this at 13 years old with his camcorder.
He probably would have done a better job.
He may have done a better job. There are some special effects in the latter half of the movie that probably cost a little bit of money to make. And the movie does star Academy Award-winning actor Sam Rockwell.
He was not a very good actor in this movie. It was horrible.
I think if you follow sports at all, my wife's not a big sports fan, but if you follow sports at all, there is something that happens in sports when a team has a really big opponent that they're getting ready to play, but the game before that, they're playing a weaker opponent, and they don't really prepare for the weaker opponent, and they have a really bad game. I think maybe because this movie came out in 2015, the next major movie that Sam Rockwell was in was 3 Billboards Over Ebbing, Missouri, which is the movie he won Best Supporting Actor for. And I think maybe this was that game for him where he just didn't show up.
I'm not sure how he got another gig after this one.
Maybe they'd already cast him before this movie came out.
Maybe because it was really bad.
Yeah, there are some times where you watch him on screen and it really looks like he's just reading off of a cue card.
That would have been a text message from our oldest child.
Yes, we get those pretty regularly.
But I could turn off my ringer.
Sometimes in rapid succession to one another.
However, this is a nice one because he was thanking me for going to the movies with him today.
Where you saw a much better movie than this.
I did. Much better.
So you went and saw another horror movie.
That is true.
That did not star Sam Rockwell.
No.
And was not a remake of an 80s movie.
No.
So,
And it was good, but that did not like keep me from enjoying this had this one been good. But this
but
one
it
started
was
off
not good.
bad, and yeah, there were some better special effects towards the end, but still it was bad.
Yes, the acting was not good throughout. And so basically, this movie takes the general idea of Poltergeist and then they replace all the good parts. It has a family called the Bowings instead of the Freelings. They replace Carol Ann with.
I don't remember. It doesn't
We'll call
matter.
her Molly.
I don't know.
So
They all their names have changed.
yes, so we're gonna say Molly because it's really not important. Don't watch the movie if you haven't watched it. Don't, and
No.
just assume that her name's Molly, the little girl. She has a bigger brother. We're gonna call him Billy,
She has dark hair in this one, not blonde.
and the oldest daughter we'll call Sally.
And Sally is not like a wild, like promiscuous like the other sister. However, she is still a jerk.
She's kind of like a typical teenager where she's mouthy and a little disrespectful. She's not a whore.
Okay, I was not going to say whore, but there you went.
Well, I promised raw and unedited, so she's
It
a
took
whore.
me 3 times to ask you just to say it sucked, but you're going to say whore.
So Molly, Billy, and Sally are the kids.
Okay.
The parents we will call Bob and Susie.
Sure. I don't think we really need to name any of them.
And so Bob has lost his job. Susie's a writer. They
stay-at-home mom.
have sold their house and moved into a less expensive house.
Yeah, none of this makes sense. They've sold their house and they're, quote, downgrading to this house, but this house has 3 levels and it's in a nice neighborhood.
Basically, it's got 2 levels and a finished attic where the boy stays.
Yeah, but it makes no sense because it's a nice house, but they're, quote, downgrading. I don't understand that. I
And
mean,
it's in a nice suburban addition,
right.
which much like as you find out later in the movie, you find out that it was also built
On a graveyard.
A graveyard.
And they didn't really move the bodies.
Yeah.
But he's been out of work for a while. And we've hit hard times before where Jason's lost a job. And, we didn't sell our house and go move into a house in a nice suburban neighborhood that was still really nice. So that's just weird.
So they move into this house, and there's some weird things happening right away.
Right
like
away.
the closets in particular. One of the closets won't open.
That's in, what's her name? Sally's?
Sally's the oldest one.
Molly's room.
Yeah.
The little girl. Her closet doors won't open, and she immediately starts talking to the doors and answering their questions.
Apparently, they're talking to her because she's responding to them.
Correct.
So they're having conversations back and forth. And then she's like, there are things that she can like hold the door handle and it makes her hair stand up. And Billy does the same thing and they think that's really cool. Then they realize that they can stick things to the door.
Like magnetic.
Right. But when the parents come in, all the things fall off the door.
Because they're not cool.
Yeah. Because they're not the cool kids.
Right.
And then, much like happened in the real...
But in this one, the brother and sister do not share the same room.
No.
Because he's staying in this attic room by himself and it has a skylight and he's scared to death.
And there's a tree right outside the skylight.
And there's a scary, scary clown in his closet.
Oh, there's a bunch of clowns.
Right, they were left there from before.
Yeah, they find a bunch of clowns.
But there's one that's particularly scary.
Right. But there's a whole... They collected creepy clown dolls, apparently, whoever was there before.
I would guess.
And so there's something happens. They get scared because of weird stuff going on. And Cindy and Bobby... I know his name's Billy, but we're going with Cindy and Bobby.
No, wait, nobody's name's Cindy.
Well, it's like the
You're
Brady
changing
Bunch.
their names now.
Molly and Bobby, Molly and Billy
Okay, Molly and Billy.
are in bed with Mom. Well, first, To steal from the first movie, mom and dad are getting frisky. There's no marijuana in this
No, there's
one,
no marijuana.
but they're getting frisky.
They're getting ready to.
And Billy walks in on them.
Dad drops his drawers, but still has his briefs on.
Yes, they're like blue.
No, they were not. They were burgundy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And Billy walks in on him, and he pulls his pants up real quick and tells her to think bad thoughts while he's gone.
Yeah, okay.
And they find out, because the clowns.
I don't think that's what it was.
He'd
There were
gotten
noises.
Scared. All the clowns had fallen
Right,
down.
but there were noises in there,
Yeah.
and when his dad goes in, they find out that there's a squirrel loose in the attic.
Right, and he's not going
Right.
to sleep in the attic until they
No.
catch the squirrel.
Correct.
Well, for some reason, Molly isn't sleeping in her room either because...
She wasn't in bed with mom and dad. It was just him.
Oh, you're right.
She was in her own bed.
Just Billy was.
Because when Billy starts hearing noises, weird noises, because all the TVs and electronics start doing weird things, he finds his sister in her room in the dark talking to the
No,
doors.
she's downstairs because
Oh,
he
no, you're
walks
right.
downstairs to find her.
Talking
She's
to the TV.
downstairs talking to the TV.
Because that's normal, right?
Yeah. And of course, this is 2015.
Hey,
so
wait,
there's
your
not
sister
static.
your sister was really weird and crazy. Did she talk to the TV?
No, but she talked. Her dolls talked to her.
Your sisters?
Yes.
That explains a lot of things, doesn't
They were
it?
Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls.
That explains a lot of things.
Much like the actual doll in what was the series of movies, the Conjuring movies,
I thought you were talking about Chucky.
was a Raggedy Ann
Well,
doll.
what about Chucky?
Chucky was
A
My
talking
Buddy
doll.
doll.
I don't know.
My
Okay.
buddy.
No, we don't need to
My
sing.
buddy.
No. Anyway, so she's talking to the TV screen, and her brother's walking very slowly down the steps and towards her, and he looks a little freaked out.
And then she tells him that they're coming, and he is a little freaked out. And then all these hands start. She puts her hands on the TV screen, and then another hand touches her hand on the TV screen.
And then like 15 come on the
and
TV
then a
screen.
bunch of them show up on the TV screen, and then she goes,
No, she doesn't. I don't know if he yells for her parents, their
Yeah.
parents, and when they come downstairs, and this was really disappointing because she
Yeah.
just looks at them and she goes, "They're here."
yeah. I mean,
That was it.
It was kind of as a question, but it was like, they're here.
It was just very
It wasn't
like
creepy
nothing.
at all. Like, you know,
No.
Carol Ann was like,
They're here. No,
And
she's just like, they're here. Can you pass the potatoes? It was just like a big letdown.
It was like, hire a good child actor.
They couldn't have. They spent all the money on the other dude to blow it.
Yeah, $35 million. You should be able to get a child actor.
No.
And so,
They probably couldn't get one because the original Caroline died after it. They probably couldn't get anybody to play one.
yeah, they were afraid anyone whose kids gets hired out for the movie's going to die.
Right. That's probably why they couldn't get one.
So then weird things happen. Baseball's going across rooms and
Yeah.
lights flickering and things like that. And then the parents still don't believe Billy that anything's happening. They think
And
he's
he
crazy.
tries really hard to tell them. And he's like become a scaredy cat like over time for some reason. So they don't believe anything he says.
Like his books all stack up in the hallway and then blow apart, kind of like the chairs did to Mom in the original movie.
But they don't believe him.
They don't believe that anything's happening until the night that the storm happens.
And they go out to a party,
yeah,
a dinner party
they're
somewhere.
Gone. While they're gone,
Everything goes to hell in a handbag.
yeah. So basically, kind of like the first movie, the storm happens, the tree breaks through the window.
The sun, I can't talk. That thing in the sunlight, I can't talk. In the boys' room, it breaks through that
And then all the clowns start acting crazy.
and trying to attack him.
Yeah, and he gets out of there. He goes to his sister's room, and she's sitting surrounded by all of her.
Well, and what's funny though about the clown, the main clown, is 1 second it's obviously a doll, and another second you can tell they hired like somebody
kid
to
or
become
somebody.
the clown. In the next second, it's a doll again. So that is really, really horrible.
Yeah, because it like
Horrible looking.
jumps off of the...
And starts running. And then it's a doll again. And that is just really, really bad. Bad,
But
bad.
yeah, then he goes to his sister's room, and she's surrounded by all of her animals.
She's sitting on the floor up against the wall,
And
scared.
she says, "We're gonna be in
Big
big
trouble.
trouble."
I'm not sure what that means. And then the older sister does something really stupid. She has her cell phone on
And it's making weird noises.
and has her headphones in, and it sounds like when you're losing your radio station. So she starts following the sound that's coming through her phone, and she pins it down to the garage slash laundry room, and she keeps going farther and farther, and then eventually she sees a crack forming in the cement floor, and she takes a piece of the floor and pops it up. Dumb move.
And then all
And
this stuff
this
gurgles
nasty goo starts coming up, and Shelby's like, our youngest is like, "Ooh, that's cement." And I'm like, "That is not cement." She's like, "Yeah, it is." Well, then at one point, somebody, I don't know if it was then or when this paranormal dude comes later, they sniff it and they make a horrible face. I'm like, told you that wasn't cement. "Oh, cement smells bad." I'm like, "Really?" I'm pretty sure cement does not smell foul. But so
Then an arm reaches up and grabs her and
starts trying to pull her
in.
down through the crack.
And she's trying to get out. Well, then the door shuts and locks, and so even when she does get free, she can't get out the door. And Billy's trying to run down the stairs to get to her, but he gets frozen in place and can't get down the stairs. Well, then when he finally does get free, the tree limb comes all the way down from the attic, down the stairs.
Wait, Jason, they can't see you moving your hands to show them how the tree's coming through the house after him.
Okay. It comes
But Jason's showing you.
through the skylight, through the attic, down the
vines through there.
stairs, around the hallway, to the stairway going downstairs.
Well, he was trying to get to his little sister, though, because she's
he
screaming.
was trying to get to the
I
big
don't think
sister.
So. And it grabs him.
And it grabs him, pulls him all the way through all of that, back out the window,
And holds
of
him
the skylight, and is holding him.
at the very top of the tree.
And then the parents show up.
No, in the meantime, his little sister, did you say her name's Molly?
Oh yeah, Molly.
She's been taken
Into the closet.
through the closet, and she gone.
So she's in the closet.
She gone. Bye-bye.
In the closet.
She gone. And the parents pull up and see this weird sensation
The tree's going crazy.
that's all over
And,
the house.
Yeah, all the lights are flashing, and
Jason's moving his hands for you back and forth because the lights are flashing.
their son is dangling from the tree limbs. And they pull in and are freaking out, and then the tree drops their son. It doesn't swallow him like it did in the original movie. It just drops him in the yard.
And about that time, the oldest, what did you say her name was?
What did we go with?
It wasn't Sally. That's the mom.
No, it was Sally.
Are you sure? Then who's the mom?
The mom is, who was it, Bob and
Patty? No,
Shelley?
I don't think so. Mrs. Bob?
Yeah.
Too bad you didn't go with Sally because that was your grandma's name and she was married to Bob.
Yeah, I think it was Bob and, I don't know.
Anyway, about that time they get into the house, the garage door has unlocked and the big sister comes running out, and she is telling them that she's
She
so
can't
upset.
find Molly anywhere.
Right,
So
and she
must
can't
have been
find
out
her.
for a few minutes.
And so they're looking for her everywhere and nobody can find her. And just about that time,
The TV comes on.
Bobby can hear her through the TV, and he starts screaming for Mom because she's going, "Mom, Mom, where are you?" And
So we can tell who she loves because she's not calling for anyone else.
well,
She's
she
just
knows he's a
calling for
bad
Mom.
actor. She doesn't want to see him like just look around and look stupid.
Well, and he does. He comes around the room and he's like, he's looking like completely blank.
And not towards the TV.
Not towards the TV.
Well, about this time, Mom is squatted down on the floor, and she's listening to the TV and has her
Billy's
hand up
looking
to
at
it.
the TV. She's looking at the TV.
She's got her ear up to the TV.
And he's like looking off to the side.
Like out the window.
Completely blank. And he's like, Molly, where are you? In
Right.
exactly that tone of voice.
No emotion.
And I'm like, this guy won an Academy Award.
He's not even looking towards the TV where everyone is talking to her.
Like, he's just like, how soon is this movie shoot over?
Yeah.
I need some lunch.
And mom wants to call the cops. And he's like, why are you going to call the cops? Because we got to get her back. They got to do something. And what are you going to tell them? That they took her. And what are they going to do about it? What do you think they're going to think of us?
Yes, she's in the TV. Yes, call the cops. Hello, officer. My daughter was abducted and she's inside my TV.
Now, used to when we were kids, they had the TVs, though, that had the huge backs that stuck out, or the big console TVs. And
you could fit your kid inside the TV.
You could have fit in the TV somehow. But now the TVs are flat and there's nowhere to go. So saying your kid's in the TV, they'd be like, what you smoking before you called me? Where's your crack
and
pipe?
if it was the original movie, they had been smoking something.
That's true. But they'd be asking us where our crack pipes are.
These were good, clean, non-pot smoking parents.
I don't know what they were.
I don't know either.
So he finally gets her to understand that calling the cops is not going to help at all.
So then they go to a nearby college, which is
where
apparently
she
where
went to school. And they went to the paranormal department, which, of course, she tells them that when she went there, they thought that they were really like off.
There are apparently 2 colleges with paranormal departments.
I'm guessing you looked this up.
No.
Oh, just from watching
This
TV?
one in Illinois. I know they're in Illinois because when they took off in the Mini Cooper, it had an Illinois license plate.
I didn't notice.
And the one where the girls from Ghostbusters worked
okay.
until they got kicked out.
See, that would be fun if we did Ghostbusters and then we watched that Ghostbusters.
We can.
Because I know that one's good and I'd have a lot better stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
But
so they go to the university. They get these people who are in the paranormal department. Apparently one of them doesn't actually believe any of this stuff.
Right, so I'm not really sure what he's doing in there. Because he sits on the steps.
ETA, I don't know.
He sits on the steps and says, Billy, your dad's been out of a job for, well, a long time, right? And Billy's like, yeah, I guess so. So, like, somebody like that might, like, say that there's some paranormal activity maybe going on in their house, and maybe just say that, like,
get in some TV crews, make some money.
You taking over my conversation?
Yes.
They might, like,
Have you ever listened to our podcast?
I'm trying to say the podcast. Maybe their daughter might have disappeared, and they might get some TV crews and be on a couple of, let's say TV shows and be in some tabloids, and that would probably bring in some money. And he looks at him and he says, but this is real, and my sister is gone, and I just want to find her. Yeah, and he got ticked off. He should have punched him.
He's like, we don't care about the TV crews or the money. We just want
Molly?
Carol Ann back.
But she's not Carol Ann. She's Molly.
Carol
Mindy?
Ann number 2.
He should have punched him or something. And he still didn't believe it until one of them came for him.
Oh, also, Molly has a potty mouth.
She does.
Yes.
Her older sister has a potty mouth and a bad attitude, so anytime she cusses, the little sister repeats it like a little parakeet.
Yes.
No, parakeets don't do that. Parrots do.
Sure.
Do parakeets talk? No, parrots do.
I've never had a pet bird.
I have. And I'm thinking parakeets don't talk.
Just one.
Parrots
and it didn't talk.
What pet bird did you have? What are we talking about?
My pet bird.
I think we should move on now.
My pet bird.
I think we should move on now. Now I'm thinking of Dumb and Dumber. Oh, pretty bird. Oh, that's a nice bird. Oh, pretty bird. You don't talk much, do you? Anyway, moving on. And so that guy got a run for his money later when he went to drill some holes in the closet to put in a heat sensor.
He had already went to sit down, and his chair went flying across the room and smashed against the wall.
He's not very smart.
So apparently he just thought that was some kind of trick.
But later he went to drill some holes in the wall to put a heating sensor in there, and his arm and drill went all the way through the wall, and it wouldn't let him have his arm back. And all of a sudden the drill bit starts coming through his side of the wall, and it's coming closer. And the drill bit's coming closer.
And the drill's not plugged in.
No, but I'm talking. and the drill bit's coming closer each time towards his face. And he starts screaming, and all of a sudden he's let go and he flies across the room, and the drill is dropped on his side of the wall now, and there's no hole in the wall from where his whole body almost went through it.
Like he just hallucinated the whole thing.
Right. And then at first he had these hand grips all over his arm, and then he looks down again and it's gone. But that reminds me of something different in this one too. Like in the first one of the camera crew guys from the paranormal activity department was eating the people's food, and
Fried
the food
chicken.
turned into maggots all over the counter, and the guy's face started falling off, and he's...
Well, and that started happening in this one, but
Hey.
it was to the dad.
You're telling my story again. So the guy's face started coming off. He started pulling his face off. Well, this time the dad goes to pour himself like a cup of whiskey, and he starts drinking it, and all of a sudden it tastes real weird, so he spits it out, but he starts throwing up that stuff that our kid thought was cement, but it wasn't. And then he looks down in the sink, and there's worms going all in it, like real worms, not like maggots. I wouldn't want either. And then his wife hears him, and she comes down to see if he's okay. And there's nothing in the sink. But he did pour out his alcohol, the bottle and all. Didn't drink anymore. That's how you do it.
This is how you do it.
Do, 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 do. This is how you do it.
And that's not by R. Kelly, so we can still sing it.
We can't sing it if it's by R. Kelly?
Right.
Why?
Because he's a bad, bad person.
But I can sing it because I'm not R. Kelly. You understand?
Whatever.
So maybe you should talk now for a bit.
And then, so after everything happens in the closet, then he's
What's
a
happening
believer.
in the closet?
And then he's like, and then I saw her face.
No, wait a minute. What's happening in the closet?
His arm.
Did he
going
come out of the
through, and
closet?
then he came out of the closet, and he was a believer.
So he was in the
He
closet.
was a daydream believer and a
So you're saying he was
homecoming
you're saying he
queen.
was in the closet and he came out of the closet.
Yes, and now he's a homecoming queen.
Well, okay. I'm glad that's working for him.
Yes. So this stuff's happening.
What
and
stuff?
with him in the closet and then him out of the closet.
Go ahead.
And then they're like videotaping
What
different
are they videotaping?
everything that's going on around the house.
Everything? Like even when they go to the bathroom?
Yes.
Wow, that would be bad. I wouldn't want that to happen to me. I don't remember that videotaping in the bathroom.
Well, I think you have to go on certain adult websites to
I'm
find.
not. No, that's all right.
And so I'm trying to figure out, because at some point it goes to where the dad ends up and going up to the closet because he's angry.
Is that what dads do when they get angry? They
Yeah.
go up to closets.
And he ends up taking a chair leg to the closet wall. And I don't remember why he's taking a chair leg to the closet wall. I know he's trying. Oh, they want to talk to Carol Ann. So that's where it starts. And so they're all gathered around trying to get Carol Ann to talk. Because they're going to try and isolate her voice. And she starts talking, but then all these other voices start coming out and everything goes nutso again. And then Dad...
No, that's not what happened. She was talking to them and then talking to her dad and then talking to them again. And then she goes, Dad, is that you? He goes, no, Carolyn, I'm here. And she goes, that's not you, Dad. And then something takes her and pulls her away. And she's telling she was afraid. She was scared. And then they heard growls and she was
he
gone.
goes upstairs to find her.
And he was mad because they were taking her away and she was scared.
He finds what he thinks is her sitting in the corner.
Oh, yeah, that was horrible.
And he reaches down to grab her, and then the figure that looks like her screams really
Turns
loud
around.
and throws him across the room.
Her face was not the same face.
And so,
It kind of looked like Momo from,
yeah.
the internet thing. Mm-hmm.
And so then he,
Maybe that's where Momo came from.
maybe.
I'm just
I
saying.
think Momo came from the pound.
Not that Momo. He's a sweet boy. I'm talking about Momo on the internet.
Oh,
You know.
yeah. Mm-hmm. So then he he had landed on the table and broke it, and he grabs one of the table legs.
So not a chair leg.
No. And then he starts hitting the wall of the closet and breaks a hole in it. And all these lights and
It
stuff
opens
are
up
shining
into
through.
the other realm.
And then he takes like another leg of the table that has a big chunk of table with it, and he hits the wall and makes an even bigger hole, and it goes flying through
The other dimension.
into the nether world where Carol Ann
Did you
is.
say the netherworlds?
Yes.
Okay.
And then a couple minutes later, it falls through a hole that appears in the ceiling in the living room. Mm-hmm. And that's when they
Almost
discover...
hits Billy.
Yes.
But Mom notices something weird's going on and she grabs him. She saved him.
So that's when they discover that there's a portal.
A what? Porta potty?
A portal.
A porthole?
A porthole.
A porthole. Okay. Now, at what point do they decide to go get the guy who's famous on TV for cleaning house?
It's about this time because they're like, well, we can use this porthole to get her out, but
So,
we're going to need help.
There's an A hole now and a B hole.
Yes.
And they want to get Carol Ann Jr. out the B hole.
Yes.
I gotcha.
But they need to bring someone in. And so they go get Bono from U2.
Go ahead.
And so Bono comes in. And apparently Bono, when he's not rescuing children with AIDS in Africa and playing in his rock band, he is a ghost hunter. So he comes in.
I think he's a Ghostbuster.
And he is going to...
find a way to get her out the B-hole.
Right.
He's going to flush her out the B-hole.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's better than him trying to find a way to get her in the B-hole. Because
Jason, no. No, you have gone too far. No.
then he would be R. Kelly.
No, you've gone too far.
And we wouldn't be able to listen to him anymore.
Same premises as before. They've got the rope. And it's attached to something in the room. And it goes down from the A-hole into the B-hole. And it's hanging down.
Fasten it to the wall.
Which is dumb. And it's hanging down in the living room. And they have a mattress down in there to catch her. And the little boy has a drone. And so he's flying the drone. And this is crazy. He flies the drone up and through the A-hole.
Into the closet.
Yeah, and he can see.
And they end up in the upside down.
You can see all the weird stuff up there going on. So, and they find Carol Ann Jr.
Carol Ann's in the upside down with Mikey.
Mikey?
Yeah. You know when Mikey got lost in the upside down?
No. Yes. Yes. And she sees the drone and starts saying mommy, which if I saw a drone, don't think I'd just start saying mommy. But anyway, then when the paranormal beings realize that she's talking to them, they hit it.
Knock it down.
Yeah. And so Bono is saying that someone's going to have to go in there and get her, and he's going to. And her mom's like, no, she's not going to go with you. You're a stranger.
I've got to go. Well, in the meantime, while Bono...
Well, they're all arguing because Dad says, no, I'm the man of the house. I'm going to go.
And in the meantime, Billy's already gone.
Yeah, they turn around and look, and Big Brother's gone.
And they all run upstairs, and Billy... here's what I don't get. Billy's still like 3 feet from the closet, holding onto the rope. And they're like, oh, it's too late. He's already... No, you could still grab Billy. He's still 3 feet away from the closet. Like, anybody could still, like, grab Billy, pull him back, and someone else go in the closet. And they're like, no, it's too late.
And Billy's like, it's my fault she's gone. I shouldn't have left her.
And it's like, okay, now he's talking and he's paused, so you have even more time to grab Billy. Like, just make a conversation with him while someone else runs over and grabs him. Like, you don't want your 10-year-old son doing this.
So Billy grabs a hold of the rope, starts going through the a-hole.
Yes. And then he makes the mistake a 10-year-old would
Well,
make.
no, you can see what's going on because he finds the drone. And he starts carrying the drone, I guess. I don't know.
No, it's still sitting. It's the camera's still working, but he is so they can kind of see what's going on, but he lets go of the rope.
Well, that's because he sees her out to the left of him far enough that she can't reach him and she's not coming towards him because she's afraid to go with him.
And then he says, "You've got to come with me," and she says, "They won't let me go." And then they all start going nuts, and that puts a lot of pressure on the rope, and the rope ends up pulling out of the wall.
Well, they start pulling on the rope. And of course the rope's going to let go of the wall.
And they're like, "Oh, we figured out what you're trying to do. You're trying to use this rope to get her out of here."
Yeah.
You know, they could have figured it out during the previous half an hour that the rope was there and yanked the rope out of the wall. But
And the thing in this one is, while he's trying to convince her to go, the rope, while he's trying to grab it, completely falls out the beehole.
and it doesn't just like pull out and fall. Like, it whips around for a while and is flopping every which way. So there's like a lot of time
Does
passing.
that remind you of anything? No?
Are we talking about birds again?
So anyway, shortly after it zigzags and
That's what
stuff.
happens if a boy tries to pee without holding it.
Stop talking. No.
That's why
No.
boys' bathrooms get really messy
You're
sometimes.
still talking. Stop that. No, behave. So anyway,
Have you ever seen
Jason,
Have you ever seen the fire department turn on a fire hose when no one's holding onto the hose, and the hose just flops around everywhere?
Why do birds suddenly appear anytime you are near? Okay, good. So anyway, the rope has fallen down onto the mattress, and all of a sudden, the beehole gets a little pucker, and the two kids are pooped out onto the mattress, but they're blue. And the parents seem to have forgotten that they're supposed to rush them into the warm bathtub of water.
But fortunately, Bono's there.
Bono comes running from the upstairs because he was still up there.
No,
And he's
not
like,
Sonny Bono, because he's dead.
I don't know. This wasn't even Bono.
It was an Irish guy.
And so I thought it was an Australian guy.
I'm pretty sure he's Irish.
He's Australian. So anyway, he's like, hurry, get him in the tub. So they're running them to the tub and trying to rinse them all off because they've got that afterbirth business going on, you know?
You do find out in the meantime that Bono used to be married to the head of the paranormal department.
Mm-hmm. But she doesn't miss him.
No. She thinks he's kind of pompous and...
a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
So the kids are in the tub, and Billy Bob comes to quicker. And Mama's kissing him and telling him how proud she is of him. And then little Caroline Jr., Molly.
Which isn't her name either, but...
She comes to and she's like, hi, Mom. Such a bad little actress. And so she's all good. And the one thing I like about this version better than the first one is that they don't decide to stay in the house and take another bath and take a nap.
Now, they don't decide to stay in the house.
Hold on, I wasn't done. On their own, they don't decide to, I'm going to go ahead and color my hair while I'm here, and I'm going to take a bath in the garden tub, and you kids go take a nap in that room that tried to eat you the first time. That's not what happened. They all get ready, and they go get in the van, and they're trying to get the hell out of there. True story. Take it away, Jason.
And so as they...
Wait a minute, I'm not done. I'm kidding, go ahead.
As they're getting ready to leave, she's like...
Who's she?
the mom is like, tells him to, the guy has, who
What
does
guy?
Bono has this line he says, because he's like a reality TV star who does ghost hunting. And when he is finished with a house, he says something like, it's clean, or
I cleaned the house. Something.
something, the house is clean. And so she has him say it.
No, the daughter asks him to, and he says no. And then
And she's
she
like,
says,
please, it's for my friend so
and
and
then,
so.
right. And she's like, Mom, make him do it.
And she yells at him to do it, and then he does, and she gets it on video. And then you hear Molly in the backseat go, but it's not clean. And they're like, what do you mean? Well, they needed me to lead them into the light, and I didn't. And so they're still there.
Because they needed me to go in the light with them, but I wouldn't go. And they were mad.
So he puts the car, he's like, oh, we got to, and then they're all like, go, go, go. And he puts the car in reverse, and he nails the gas, but the car won't go.
Well, it moved backwards about 3 feet and stops.
Like they hit something.
Right.
And then the car lifts up on its side,
Jason's hand is on its side.
and then it lifts up and flips over upside down. And then it slides on its roof back into the garage.
I think it slid all the way into the house.
And they're asking if everyone's okay. And then they realize Molly's gone. And she's being sucked back upstairs. So they
Into her room.
try to scramble out of the car, and Mom and Dad are running after her. And she's being sucked back towards her room. And they catch her right as she's being sucked in the doorway towards her closet. And they're all holding on. And there's a chain of people that goes from Mom to Dad to Billy to the paranormal people.
No, Billy to the big sister.
But they're all pulling in a chain to get the sister out. And they finally get her out.
But the people were starting to come out of the closet towards everybody at this point.
Oh, and then Bono's outside, and he says to the spirits that they must let her go because she's done nothing to wrong them. And they suck back into the closet, and that's when they pull her out.
Which is weird. Like, what? I mean, was that Mr. Clean, like putting his hands on his hips or something?
I don't know. But it's not like they left. They're still trying to get her. They just left for like a few seconds. And then they're trying to get out of the house. The house is collapsing.
Well, then he tells his ex-wife that he's the only one who can rid them of this for good. And she's like,
he has to lead them into the
what
light.
are you talking about? And he goes, and he says, this isn't a made for TV thing. This is real life. I'm not just going to say what the script tells me. I've got to do this for real. Don't do anything stupid. How will I know you're okay? And he says, I'll give you a sign.
And then he says goodbye.
And he's gone.
He goes in the house. And then they get in one of the paranormal people's little Mini Cooper, the 5
Was it one of theirs?
Yeah,
I thought maybe they had 2 cars.
The black girl gives them the keys. And
really?
There are 3 people. One of them's a black girl.
Whatever.
And she gives them the keys. And they take her little bitty car. And they're driving out of the neighborhood as things are exploding and skeletons are popping out of the ground, and their house explodes with a beam of light shooting into the sky. And as they're driving away, and you see the paranormal people standing around watching the little monitor and going, his GPS signal's gone. We don't see him
because
anywhere.
They passed out GPS signals to everybody so that they wouldn't get lost if something happened. We forgot that part.
And then it shows up, and we don't know what that means.
Mm-mm.
Like, is he back? Is he still alive?
It shows up like on the ground floor in like the living room. But that's all you hear because, they might want to make a sequel.
Yeah.
Lord, I hope not.
God. Well, because if he led them into the light, if he went into the light, that's death. That's the end.
I don't know.
No more. So he can't have led them into the light and come back. if he guided them to the light and like would help the door for them.
I don't know.
So we don't know what happened to him. And then the next thing you see, they're looking at houses, and the realtor's like showing them a house, and she's like, "This house is in such and such."
This is perfect for you. I'm just sure of it.
And she points out the nice big windows.
Oh, and it has huge walk-in closets in every room. And little Carol Ann Jr. Molly says, "But my last closet tried to eat me." And she goes, "Oh, what an imagination."
She goes, "And this tree out back, it's so big
And
and
it's old. And she turns around and they're gone. And you see their new van driving away as fast as it can.
Yeah, like squealing the tires out of the driveway.
I think that they need to buy a ranch home on a slab so you don't have an upstairs, you don't have a basement, and I guess for them, no trees.
Yeah.
Maybe they can have some bushes. I don't know. But this was a really, really bad remake.
Yes. They changed like all the best parts of the movie. They basically just recycled scenes. So like they didn't even recycle them the same way. They're like, "Oh, there was a clown in the first movie, so we're going to put a clown in this movie. Oh, there was a scene with a guy with seeing maggots. We're going to put that in this movie."
And hey, there was a tree that messed up the little kid, so we're going to have a tree, but it'll be a little different. It was just really bad.
And like Krista said at the very beginning, the cinematography, the camera work was horrible.
Well, they show them driving to their new house, and the area outside of the car looked like it was a video game. That's how bad it was. It literally looked like
It was bad animation.
it looked like it was a video game, like an old Mario Brothers, like the very beginning of a Mario Brothers, like when it first came out.
It's like on Scooby-Doo when you see them walking and they keep walking by the same bushes over and over again.
But that's what it looked like. It was horrible. I thought, oh, this is a joke, and I realized it wasn't. And we were in for the whole movie like that because we committed.
And then the acting was so bad.
It was. It was real bad.
I mean, I get child actors being child actors and not being great, but adult actors.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell, Academy Award winning actor, he did not win any awards for this.
No, it was real bad. Don't see it.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor and just don't do it.
If you want to see Poltergeist, watch the original.
It's still a little
not
funny.
Watch this.
Yeah, this one was just bad.
If you want to see a current scary movie, I mean, they're making tons of them. If you want, here's the thing. Is it Blumhouse that's making all the movies now? They are making movies for like $8 to $10 million, a fraction of this budget, like Get Out and
Oh, there's a
Happy
new one.
Death Day.
There's a new one that I saw a preview for today that was from the makers of Get Out, or it's a following after Get Out. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, not going to see that one.
But they're making those movies for like $8 or $10 million, and they're much better movies than this. So
Oh, the
watch one of those.
The Haunting of Hill House. That's good.
Yeah, watch The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, that was
They're
good.
getting ready to come out with the second season, so you can watch that.
Don't watch this.
Do not watch this.
We give this how many Shiznitz?
It gets no Shiznitz.
I'm giving it -5.
I give no Shiznitz.
No negatives. I'm giving it -5.
That would require me putting some effort into giving Shiznit. I don't give a Shiznit.
Well, I think we should wrap this up because it's time to get ready for bed.
It is.
We've
And
wasted
I will
enough time on
have
this.
No bad dreams from this
No.
movie. I will not think about this movie again once I hit the stop button on this.
Unless you guys want to make comments, and you are allowed to make comments, and then we can talk then. But we are all done. She gone.
I will gladly forget that this movie exists.
She gone.
She gone. So thank you for being a patron, and this is your reward. You get to listen to this and not watch the movie. So until next time, I am Jason, and for myself and my beautiful wife Krista, goodbye.
Bye-bye.